This is the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
Oh, Grant, it's Monday, the weekend. I swear I blinked and it was over. And suddenly, here we are again, back on Monday. But it means that we're back in the studio, Grant, which makes it even more exciting.
I'm glad that we're doing a show, though. It was really like, it was I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday, but I was like, oh man, so much sports to talk about.
I know.
I want to sit down and talk about sports, and I have to wait till Monday.
Well, and you told me you had your rant ready to go on Saturday.
I did. I was so ready to go. I just wanted to do a show,
Lord.
so I was really excited for today. I actually have energy without caffeine, and I'm just like,
I'm wired because of caffeine, but like we were listening
this
to
is
like
all
the
natural.
I know, and that's what I appreciate about you, Grant. That's what makes you so special. Because you're all natural. You don't cover it up with all the glam and the makeup and it's you. It's Grant Coppersmith in the flesh. That's why I love you, sir. One of the many reasons.
Thank you. And you're a fake, so I mean...
Somebody's got to be that guy. But we're not a fake on social media, Grant, so where can the good people find us on social media?
All right. I don't know about that transition, but I'll give it to you.
It was a reach.
You can find us on Facebook at the Bax and Grant Sports Show. You can find us on Twitter at BG Sports Show. You can email us at bgsportshow@gmail.com, or you can Instagram us by using the hashtag the Bax Grant Sports Show. And if you use that hashtag, it shows up on Sports Radio America. So if you find something super cool that you think we might enjoy, just put that hashtag on it and send it our way.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate it. We love interacting with people, especially on social media, so thank you so much for that. We do have an exciting announcement, too, Grant, aside from us being on theCUBE, so thank you for those of you that are watching us on theCUBE. Fun way to interact with us. If you did notice this last week, we did post a few videos, some clips from the show. When Liz Calhoun was on, my fiance, we posted the should and should nots of dating a sports fanatic, so you can go check that out. It's on our Facebook page for all of you guys out there that are saying, hey, listen, fiance or girlfriend or girl that I like that doesn't know I like her yet, here's the video that proves that I need my space, when I'm watching sports shows. I mean it in the nicest way possible, of course, but check it out. It's very informative, and she did a great job with it. But anyway, today is going to be an exciting edition. It's Monday, which means Connor Christensen will be here. We're going to get a triple dose of Connor Christensen today. We have his health tip today. We've got his fight corner, and then since he skipped the show Friday, we're going to play Start 'em, Sit 'em, Cut 'em. It wasn't his fault, though. We still love him, like we said.
And the health tip, too, because he skipped.
Yes, because of that as well. But remember, we were telling you that he had to do professional things with his work and stuff, so it's not like
important school
this
things.
Isn't important, but obviously priorities and stuff. But whatever, it's not a big deal.
This is obviously more important, so he skipped.
Obviously, that's why Grant and I are here. Anyway, we're so excited, though. You remember you can check us out on sportsradioamerica.com from 12 to 3 Eastern. They broadcast us on TuneIn Radio, Live 365. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio. And you can listen to us live right here at Spreaker.com at 9 a.m. Central. And you can download our podcast on iTunes as well, Grant.
Just everywhere.
We are.
We're growing. And I like it. It's really nice, and
it's a good problem to have.
And I've said it before that it's mostly all this guy, Mr. Baxter, right here, putting everything together, getting our name out there, reaching out to everybody. I just kind of sit and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, thanks, dude. You got that all set up. I'll just show up and talk about the sports.
Someone's got to talk about the sports. Oh my goodness. But anyway, for those of you watching, you may have noticed that we have these really nice shirts on. Courtesy of Liquidators of Opaco. Thank you so much for that. My aunt was nice enough to put on a shirt, give us shirts, actually. And we will make sure to give all of our guests their shirts as well. We have Connor Christensen's shirt as well, so when he comes on the show later, it'll be right here for him. So we'll have to wait till he comes on the show to give it to him. But we'll wait until he comes on the show, Grant. I know you want to.
I wanted to throw it at him.
No, this isn't a Bucks game. You don't. T-shirt gun. shoot Connor.
Hey, we're an exciting venue.
We are. We're a very exciting venue. But anyway, so big thanks to them and John Lewinsky as well, like we mentioned last week, for designing the logo. So. If you're interested and want a shirt, get in contact with us. You can shoot us an email at bgsportshow@gmail.com or tweet us or any of that jazz, and we can see about hooking you up with a shirt.
All that jazz.
We work it in at least once a show. We really do. Anyway, Grant, we probably should talk about sports.
Probably.
That's why we're here on a Monday edition of the Bax and Grant Sports Show. We want to start off with a debate from debate.org. We always try to find something interesting. And it's a debate, Grant, that I think will stand the test of time. But right now it's relevant because of the NBA playoffs. The question obviously goes to LeBron James. And the debate question that is being asked is, does the success of the Cleveland Cavaliers rest solely on LeBron James, Grant?
And just to let you all know, it's 75% say yes on debate.org and 25% say no. I personally say yes. He's always been, even before he was with the Miami Heat. That's why he struggled, because personally, in my opinion, and his case definitely goes to show, you can't win a championship by yourself.
Yes.
Yes, he has a couple more players than he did before, but have they really done much? Like Kevin Love, he, in my opinion, hasn't done all that.
I think Kevin Love's overrated, personally.
Yeah, same here. That's what I think. And even though, yes, they swept their opening series.
That's cute, against the Boston Celtics.
Right,
I remember when that counted for something. Like, 10 years ago when they were actually relevant. It wasn't 10 years ago, but even still, it's been a while since sweeping the Boston Celtics was rendered national news, where everyone was like, shut it down, the Cavaliers have just done something crazy.
But yeah, but he's never won a championship with the Cavaliers.
Nope.
And that's because he always tries to
win it himself. He was the player.
Yeah. And
they didn't have a good supporting cast around him either back in the day.
No, they never really have. Like I said, you have a couple more pieces in place this time.
They do.
But I don't see them as favorites. On debate.org, you can vote, and then you can type a response to it. And somebody said that after winning their opening series, the Cavaliers seem to be the favorite for winning the championship.
Well,
in my opinion, I think this came from a Cavalier fan.
More
because
than likely.
I don't know a single person besides this one schmuck who thinks that the Cavaliers are going to win the playoffs.
It's like an overzealous Vikings fan that they win the first game of the year and they're like, we're going to the Super Bowl! No, they know better by now.
And then they lose the next 15, but I mean... I'm sorry, that's the Buccaneers.
Or the Titans, or the Jaguars, or just about anybody. But it's kind of like the even just Bears, too. It's like, we started off the season 3-0. Oh, Green Bay's 2-1. Huh, you suck. We're going to the
We're 1-2, actually.
I know, that's not how Chicago actually started the year. I'm just saying, like, as a comparison, when the real team actually went, farther than it.
Anyway.
They'll never be good enough. But it's interesting that LeBron continues to render so much debate, and people always play that. Is it LeBron versus Michael Jordan? Who's better? Blah, blah, blah. Just stop. Well, they played in two different eras. Right. They played two different styles of the game.
They played different players, and that has an effect on it, too. Because
the game is faster now for LeBron. It's hard to make those full comparisons. I think the only thing that you can fully make a comparison for in any sport is a kicker. The game never changes for a kicker.
Except when you inflate balls. And
that's irrelevant. That's New England. Aside from
they deflated it.
31 other NFL teams that play football, True. Grant. The kicker is the one position in most of sports that it doesn't really take. The speed of the game doesn't affect. I'm sure people might rush a little faster, but the hold, the ball, the kick, everything
Except
else
when
pretty
the
much
goalposts move back.
It depends. That's more for Canada and for other things. But even still,
no, they moved it up.
Well, yeah,
it was original for the NFL
that
it was moved up. But just kind of going off of that with player comparison, everybody says, when is there going to be the next Wayne Gretzky? Is Sidney Crosby Wayne Gretzky? Is Connor McDavid the next Wayne Gretzky? And Connor McDavid is the top NHL prospect. Everybody's thinking that the Oilers are going to draft him.
That's
He's really good. Everybody is super hyped about him, but everybody's like, when is the next Wayne Gretzky? Is this person? And
why does there always have to be a next of somebody? Why can't somebody else have their own legacy?
But the thing with Wayne Gretzky is he I don't know his numbers off the top of my head, but
it's a lot.
He had ridiculous numbers, and there's a couple reasons you will never see anything like that again. That's why I always say that saying that who is the next Wayne Gretzky is a little ridiculous, or if anybody will get on his level again.
Yes.
Because, yes, I'm not saying he was not a bad player. He was a fantastic player.
Oh, yes.
He no doubtedly was the best player to ever play in the NHL. Hockey, maybe as a whole, which is saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, the goalies' pads were a lot smaller.
They were like the other day on the show.
Yeah, they were like the size of their legs. And now today, it's like 2 legs stacked again. So it's basically like a 4-legged guy. And you have a lot bigger goalies. If you take a look at Devin Dubnyk for the Minnesota Wild, he's 6'6" and takes up the entire net.
And then he puts his skates on, and then he's about 6'8", for gosh sake.
So
How does he get down for those saves so fast?
Oh, it's
the man's knees are made of rubber.
He's very fast. He's a great goaltender. But anyway, and now teams are a lot faster.
Yes.
And you could argue. There's a lot of things to argue, but there's a lot of different factors, rule changes in different sports. So yeah, kind of getting onto this comparison talk.
It's so hard to fully.
But yeah, it's
hard to
compare.
Yeah, and I think as a player,
you don't need to anyway.
No, and I think if you were a LeBron coming up, you have established your own legacy. But I guess they're in basketball, at least, if you hear your name being compared to the guys like Jordan, like, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, so those guys that really laid the foundation, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. If you are a younger player, LeBron's been in the league for 12 years now. Good Lord, where's the time gone? But if you're a younger player saying, hey, you kind of resemble that guy, I think that you can take that as a compliment. But as soon as people cross that line saying, oh, you're better than this, that, it's like, just stop. Because they're never going to be the same.
Right. You're never going to know unless they played with each other at the exact same time.
Exactly.
So, and it's pointless, really, because they're both great players. I feel like if you're saying who is better than the other, you're taking away from either LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Just say they're both great players, and they both symbolize what the NBA is, and if you think of the NBA, you can think of these two players being some of the best. Stop trying to make one better than the other.
Yep, and I think we've even seen that transition period between where you said NBA and it was like Kobe Bryant, and now you say NBA, it's LeBron James.
Right.
And I think now you're starting to see that. You're starting to see that next wave of Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Steph Curry. Like, those three guys are like the next generation. Kevin Durant, if he would have stayed healthy, I think would have continued. I mean, he's still a very focal point of NBA
Derrick
talk.
Rose for a while.
Derrick Rose for a while. But, you really say, NBA now, it's starting to transition from LeBron and Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, James Harden, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you can name a few guys. It's not just one focal point of the NBA. But with the NBA playoffs continuing to roll, Grant, looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers, like we said, they won all 4 of their games against the Boston Celtics. They will play the winner of the Chicago Bulls-Milwaukee Bucks series. Chicago Bull fans were a little excited. They thought they were going to win the series outright, but then the Milwaukee Bucks, Jared Dudley on a last-second layup, which was a beautifully executed play, won the game for them at the last second, and now it goes to Game 5.
Which was really great, because I was actually working at Target, and people had their phones updated. I had my phone pulled up with NHL scores, but everybody else had the Bucks game. We're watching it really closely, and then when they won, somebody on the radio said that the Bucks won, and everybody in the store was freaking out. And it was a great time because we were talking about it before. We weren't really expecting the Bucks to win this series. It doesn't look like they are. They still have a chance. They're down, but they're not out.
So you're saying there's a chance, Grant?
There is a chance.
Oh, wow.
There is a chance.
That's exciting.
But hey, until the other team has 4 wins, there always is a chance.
That's true.
But we were saying that they won less than 15 games last year, and then they come into this year
won 41.
41. They had a 500 record. Absolutely fantastic. Even with their best player, Jabari Parker. I can never say his first name right.
His brother's Jamari. No.
Oh,
I had no idea.
I was like, really? I didn't know he had a brother.
Parker, though. Yes.
Yeah, and he was their best player, arguably their best player, and was injured for the majority of the season.
Yes.
And now the Bucks came back, overcame that injury, went 500, went to the playoffs, and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
I think that Bucks fans, the Bucks organization, can leave extremely happy this season.
No, obviously don't give up if you're in Milwaukee.
No,
keep going. It's okay.
Keep
don't
going.
Just win one and be done, but keep going.
But it fulfilled all expectations. People were really hopeful. They're, like I said last show, they're the 3rd youngest team in the NBA. They're the youngest team in the NBA playoffs, and I would think they're the biggest comeback team this year.
I would assume so.
And nobody's talked about them, which is weird. Like, they were the biggest surprise story.
They were,
depending who you talk to.
Aside from the Atlanta Hawks, who pretty much they won or they lost under 20 games. I forget. I think they ended up with like 18 or 19 losses. They were similar to Golden State in that regards, and their coach ended up winning NBA Coach of the Year, rightfully so. I mean, I don't think their jump was as drastic as what Milwaukee's was, and the turnaround that Jason Kidd had to implement for the Bucks, but he still was able to turn the team around, and now even looking at Atlanta now too, they're up 2-1 in their series against the Brooklyn Nets, which is a little surprising against an 8 seed that they even dropped a game like they did. Looking around the rest of the NBA playoffs, though, I mean, congratulations to the Bucks for as far as they are going. Hopefully, they will at least grab another game or two, and if they push it to 7 games, hey, it makes for even better basketball. Looking around the rest of the NBA playoffs, the Washington Wizards completed the sweep of the Toronto Raptors. A lot of people were surprised by that. They won the series 4-0. It was a little funny, Grant. I saw a meme on Facebook this morning, and it said Toronto Raptors during the regular season, and it was a picture of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. And then it said Toronto Raptors during the postseason, and it was a picture of the Land Before Time dinosaurs. So I was like, ooh, burn. But I thought it was really funny.
Well, it was surprising that they even got swept. Like, it was a close series, like who was going to come on top, but to get absolutely swept, that was a little embarrassing.
It really was, in all honesty. Not as embarrassing as the Pelicans, who continue to build series, like they continue to build a lead during the game, and then Steph Curry's like,
just wait, let me hit.
Sorry, man.
Okay, what you need to tell me the stat.
I don't know it exactly. It was an in-game stat that came up, but it was Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, the two 3-point, gurus, Splash City as they call them. Had at that point in the game when I was watching the game on whatever it was, Saturday night, had 525 3-pointers combined between the two of them.
For the whole season.
For the whole season, including the playoffs and all that. And that was more than, I think, 6 NBA teams total for the year. It was something like that.
That's absolutely crazy.
It was a fast little stat on the screen, and then they took it down. But I was looking at it, I'm like, well, wait a minute, what? But we'll have to see if we can find the exact infograph. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I'm done.
That's crazy.
I don't understand. Like, do they shoot anything else? Like, but you've seen Steph Curry in the paint. He's able to wiggle around and
just
kiss it off like, the 45th row, and it still manages to bounce back in. It's ridiculous. But Golden State, they win that series 4-0. The Memphis Grizzlies are up 3-0 on the Portland Trailblazers. You're a little surprised by that as a closet Portland fan.
Yeah, because Portland is a better team than that. Yes, people were giving Memphis the nod anyway heading into the series, even though that they're the 5th seed compared to the 4th seed.
Yes.
But Memphis technically has the better record. And it was a close series. I'm kind of disappointed how they're playing, but I understand because they're plagued with injuries right now. So it's a little unfortunate for them. Last year, though, they had a great run into the playoffs. Unfortunately, they got beat by the Spurs on Spurs' way to winning the championship. So they're rebuilding. They used to be like a constantly just bad team. So congratulations. Even though that it doesn't look well this season, they've rebuilt the organization fairly well.
Yes, they have. And then looking at the last 2 series remaining, the LA Clippers and the San Antonio Spurs, those two, they're both knotted at 2 apiece. Neither team really giving much. As the Clippers won Game 4 by a score of 114-105. Those games just constantly back and forth. A little boring to watch at times, but it's exciting basketball because the Clippers are so fundamental. The Spurs are so fundamental, and people think it's boring basketball, but it's kind of how you teach how to play basketball.
And that's why the Spurs are so good. And even though they're the 6th seed going up against the 3 seed, and I felt like a lot of people were expecting the Clippers to win this game. That's what I've been hearing, that people are expecting the Clippers to win the series. And I was like, you can never count out the Spurs. The Spurs are
never
they're one of those
Spurs
teams that they might not be star-studded, kind of like the LA Kings last year. They didn't make the playoffs this year, fortunately. But like last year, they went 3-0 down in the series, came back and won 7 games. So the Spurs are kind of like that team. They're just a tough team, and you can never count them out in the series.
Yes, they are. Similar to the Dallas Mavericks, as they grabbed a game last night to avoid the sweep. Houston, though, is up 3-1 in that series, Grant. I don't see much changing. Right. James Harden's going to more than likely go off in the Game 5 and just put the Mavericks to bed and Mark Cuban and all his money. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back, the update around the NHL playoffs, and then Grant is going to not be so blue as he talks about the St. Louis Blues and what went wrong this year and what they can possibly change next season. And then we'll have Connor Christensen on later on in the show. This is the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
Grant, there are more than two types of people for Mountain Dew. You and Connor Christensen were debating
No, there's
about
two
it.
types of Mountain Dew people. I actually was talking to somebody about this, and they found that if you I forget because this conversation was a while ago, but if you like one certain Mountain Dew, she was like, okay, you don't like this flavor, then I'm guessing you don't like A, B, and C, and you like D and whatever, like all the different kinds of flavors. And I'm like,
whoa.
Yeah, it's true. And it was like she got like all the different flavors of Mountain Dew I liked and didn't like. She's like, yeah, because there are two types of Mountain Dew people. And then there's also the people that like Baja Blast and the people like Sangrita Blast. There's a division. There's a rift in the world.
The more you know. Wow, maybe we should put that on the cover of ABC News.
We should make that a topic.
It's probably way more important than the Nepal earthquake. Anyway, good Lord.
Gosh.
Way more important. The way the world works right now, anything's more important than that.
You were ranting about that
I'm
earlier
so
today.
mad. So stupid. Anyway, this is not that kind of show. I'm not about to get into that. Anyway, Grant, the NHL playoffs in full swing, as it were. The St. Louis Blues making an early exit, but as a whole, though, the NHL playoffs continuing to surprise a lot of people. We saw last night as Montreal continued to their winning ways, winning their series 4-2. What are you pointing at? You're pointing at my computer, and I don't know what you want from me while I'm trying to talk, Grant.
The 2011-2012, I did. That's what I was looking at. I didn't think they made it that far.
Apparently they did. Yes, that's the St. Louis Blues. Would you wait? Would you give me a
I
second?
was reading.
You're just being so rude, like pointing at my computer. I'm like, what, Grant? Everything's fine. I don't know what you want from me. The screen's away. The screen is gone. Go back to your own laptop.
Fine.
Jeez, we'll get to that in a second, Grant. Anyway, the NHL playoffs, Grant. Right there in front of you.
Jeez. Rude.
I'm just trying to...
Touching my stuff. I didn't touch your stuff. I just pointed at your stuff.
You were just rude. Anyway, the Western Conference, Grant, all 4 teams have punched their ticket to the second round.
I said that before the show. Were you listening to me?
I was, but I wasn't.
You clearly weren't.
Anyway, Grant, the Minnesota Wild, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Anaheim Ducks, and the Calgary Flames are all through to the next round.
Okay, I just want to make a point, and especially because Connor is mocking me and celebrating. I am a Wild fan. I'm a Minnesota Wild fan. So even though I'm sore and upset that the Blues didn't win, it was bittersweet because I like both teams. I've watched both teams play for years. I've been able to watch more Wild fans just because of the area that I live in. I watch more Wild games.
It's like you watch Wild fans? That's
I watch,
creepy.
and I guess I watch more Wild fans because I see them more often.
I suppose.
But I watch more Wild games because of the area I live in more than Blues games. So yeah, I'm a big Minnesota Wild fan. So congratulations to the Wild. Chicago also. I'm so glad. I'm not glad, but. At the same time, I'm glad Chicago won the series because everybody was saying, oh, the Nashville Predators still have a chance of winning. And I'm like, no, the Blackhawks are going to destroy them. And they did. They beat them in Game 6. They took it to them 4-2.
Woo!
Anaheim, we already talked about that.
Sweeping the Jets at Winnipeg.
We already talked about that on Friday. And then the Calgary Flames won.
Right, Calgary.
You did. I'm proud of you. They won Game 6 against the Vancouver Canucks, taking that series.
Canadians.
And then moving over to the Eastern Conference, actually, Ottawa was able, I think it was Friday night, they were able to pick up another game and made the series interesting, taking it to Game 6, making it 3-2, is trying to repeat what the LA Kings did last year. Unfortunately, last night, they were not able to do that, losing to the Montreal Canadiens 2-0.
Represent.
So Montreal moving on.
Getting a shutout in the playoffs, that's impressive.
It is. It's happened a couple times this series.
Indeed.
This playoffs. Then the Detroit Red Wings, I can say that. The Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings are up 3-2. It's been a really tough series. It's been a fun series to watch. I've been watching most of their games. So that is great to watch. They're up 3-2. They played tonight. 7 p.m. Eastern time, so definitely check that one out. It's one that you don't want to miss. Then the New York Rangers, Pittsburgh, we already talked about that. And then
Which was what?
4-1 for the New York Rangers.
For those that don't know.
Yes, I apologize. I apologize.
They're not all as oozing of hockeyness as you are.
I know. I apologize.
It's all good. Moving on.
Anyway, moving on. The Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders are going to Game 7.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be tonight.
Drama.
Which, Game 7s are always great. Really exciting. And this has been a great series again. I just love hockey. It's so much fun to watch, and these games are super exciting. And the series has been great. The games are just really fun to watch. I can't remember what games were all happening. I think the Chicago Blackhawks game and the Game 6 New York Islanders versus Washington Capitals game was on at the same time, and there was just all these big goals that were going in and just watching the replays, and there was a bunch of fan reaction videos that were coming out, and those are really fun. I just love watching people freak out, especially when the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl. All the people crying, people breaking televisions. It was so great, and why did you throw the ball was instantly the first thing said. I was but anyway. So great stuff going on in hockey. We're almost done with the first round, which is sad. I like first round because that's when the most games happen.
It's true, and it's interesting, Grant. A fun sport for you, brought to you by the SQ, the Sports Quotient. The Calgary Flames have won now that they won their playoff series against Canucks. That was the first series that they have won since 2004. So it's been a while since they have been able to capture some playoff glory.
I mean, I can feel for those guys.
Yeah, you have to, especially,
and this is where you can transition into you being a Blues fan and them losing the last 3 series, and then I can go talk about the Blues now.
It's true. Well, I mean,
I can't transition like you.
You can't. No, you really can't. I was
more making fun of you. I was more making fun of you than anything.
That's what happens when you try to do my job, Grant. But one other fun little fact for you about the Penguins: the Pittsburgh Penguins have lost 4 straight home playoff games. Obviously,
interesting.
So it's not the place to try to win a game in Pittsburgh. That's for sure. So, and then apparently one other one for you too. Kevin Hayes is only the third rookie in franchise history to score an overtime goal.
Wow.
For the New York Rangers.
Well, there you go.
The more you know, Grant.
The more you know.
The more you know. Anyway, the more you know about the St. Louis Blues, the better, Grant, as you are a lifelong fan. See, I just worked it in. Boom. It just comes natural, Grant. Don't try to force it. It just happens.
I wasn't. I was trying to make fun of you.
Yeah, well. Anyway, the St. Louis Blues, Grant, not a bad year in terms of, as a whole. They won 51 games. Not bad by any means. They tallied 109 total points. What can you say about them? As a regular season, you can't be too unhappy.
Right. They had a great season. They finished first in the Central Division, second in the Western Conference. Kind of had a rough draw in the playoffs, but if you want to make it deep in the playoffs, you're going to face hard teams, so I'm not using that as an excuse at all. But yeah, they had a great season. But their biggest thing is I'm just gonna jump right into problems that they need to fix. For me, the biggest thing, and they had this all season and last season anyway too, is goaltending. Goaltending is the big thing that they need to fix. Jake Allen, the Blues, and they've come out and said that it wasn't Jake Allen's fault, even though it was his fault that they pretty much lost the game. But yes, they didn't get offense. They only scored 1 goal, and it was kind of a crap goal at that. TJ Oshie was at an awful angle. It kind of just bounced it off Dubnyk.
Too many Oshios, as it were.
Yeah, too many Oshios. But yeah, goaltending, big issue.
Yes.
They have.
I'm sorry, I did interrupt you with that. In terms of Jake Allen, could some people be critical of him because of his age? He's only 24. Asking someone to play goalie at the NHL level at only 24 years of age, that's a lot to ask.
Yes and no. He's at the NHL, and he's shown the talent to be there.
Yes.
And he's just not there. He just didn't perform well. And he actually did well in the playoffs. He like both goaltenders, they had ups and downs. It was the goal differential, I can't remember. It was like 3+. It was like the biggest goal differential for the playoffs, for any of the playoff teams, because one game the Blues had 7-1 on the Wild.
There was such a high and low of the games.
Yeah, and it was just one game Jake Allen was on, and then the other game Devin Dubnyk was on. So one big problem that the Blues need to fix is get a solid goaltender. Last year they tried to fix it with, can't remember his first name, but Miller, and he came in, did not do well in the playoffs. Jake Allen, he's done. It's the big thing. Jake Allen and Brian Elliott are good goaltenders, but they are not consistent. That is the big thing. Some games are good, some games they are not. And that's something that the Blues need to fix. Another thing that the Blues need to fix is scoring. That is another big thing that has plagued them this year. Yes, consistent scoring. Like a game earlier this season versus the Blues, they had...
Versus the Wild?
Yes, versus the Wild. Excuse me. They
had to help you out. That's why I'm here.
They outshot the Wild like 30-something to 17 or something crazy like that, and then they lost the game 3-1.
I remember you, being upset about
a lot of that, yes, has to do with Devin Dubnyk, but a lot of that is eventually, once you throw enough rubber at the net, stuff is going to go in. And it just wasn't going in. It's not going in. That's a plastic water bottle, not rubber. But
I don't have anything rubber in the studio.
Anyway, we do have hockey pucks. We do have hockey.
Who'd have guessed?
We do have hockey pucks in the studio.
Totally forgot we have a stack of hockey pucks.
You're welcome.
Studio. Thank you.
But that is another thing that they need to fix. I really don't know why it is, though, because there's a lot of offensive talent on that team, and like Vladimir Tarasenko, Alex Steen.
Steen had 40 goals had 24 goals this year. Vladimir Tarasenko 37.
Yeah. David Bax, he's not a big offensive scorer, but he does well.
26 goals this season.
I'd say the biggest thing that needs to happen, well, at least for me, is TJ Oshie. He is a big prospect for the Blues. He's a young talent. Everybody's really excited, and to me, he underperformed this year. He underperformed in the playoffs. He struggled. He had that one goal, yesterday, but it was. I mean, it wasn't the best goal in the world, and there was a lot more that needed to be done. And all of the here, go back to the stats. I wanted to look at the stats. I had stats, but all the Wild had to do yesterday was really shut down Vladimir Tarasenko, and then that was pretty much the game. So the Blues need to have more offense, but their number one thing for me, at least as a Blues fan, is goalie.
So they should try to address that in the draft, you're saying, or just the offseason as a whole, maybe try to go and give somebody a lot of money?
Well, that's what they tried to do the last 2 years.
Brodeur!
Yeah, well, they tried Martin last year, and then this year Martin Brodeur, who retired in the middle of the season after going 3-3, which after that he wasn't. We already knew he wasn't the answer when he wasn't playing extremely well, and he was old anyway. And people were like, "Why is he retired yet?" So,
yeah, old man, get off the ice.
Yeah, pretty much. So
makes sense.
Yeah, that's the Blues for you. Great season though, and it's unfortunate though because this was a third straight first round exit and Game 6 loss. I thought it was like since 2001, 2002 that the last time they made it to the second rounds, but I actually saw that they made it to the second round 2011, 2012.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll see. You never know. The sky is the limit for the Blues. We'll have to see. Yes, the goalies obviously have to address them.
But, yeah, they're a young team, though, so that's a one big thing.
So they've got that going for them, though.
Yes, they have a lot of big young talents.
If they can keep the core guys together, they could continue to grow and hopefully, pick up a championship in the next maybe 3 to 5 years.
Definitely.
Well, I'll have to see.
We hope so. They haven't picked up the Stanley Cup yet, so
indeed. Well, it's time for you to pick up your rant cup, as it were, Grant, for the Stanley Cup of all rants. It is Grant's rant. I don't even know on that one. I tried. Anyway, it's time for Grant's rant, part of the show where Grant will get 30 seconds to rant about anything he wants in the sports world, and then another 30 seconds to take a minute to collect himself.
I'm just going to call it a minute.
You just want to just go for a straight up minute. You get a minute total.
I'm just going to minute to talk.
Minute to talk.
Minute to talk.
All right, minute to talk. Minute on the clock. On your mark, get set, go, sir.
So Snapchat has a new app where you can, or a new section of the app where you can check out the news stories. And ESPN has a little section in there. And I went, and this was right after Saturday where a lot of big hockey games happened. I was expecting to see goals. Every single section was about basketball and the NBA playoffs and all their like three-pointers and everything when there were some fantastic goals that were happening. Mm-hmm. And I was really upset because it just goes to show how much people don't pay attention to hockey, how much ESPN just does not give hockey the time of day half the time. And now it's like, oh my gosh, basketball. And it's like, the NHL playoffs, 1 started first, 2 are way cooler, and 3 have exciting stuff too. So I was really upset that there was not one highlight, and there was like 7 highlights of people shooting balls into a basketball hoop. And some of them were just standard shots too, so I was really upset. I was just not.
Time's up.
I was like 58 seconds. Okay, call it there. And I'm like,
might as well. No, is this the? Yeah. No. Yes. Let's see what's on. Oh, okay. Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, basketball. Oh, baseball. Okay. Steph
basketball.
Curry. Manny Pacquiao, and then that was.
Football.
I mean, that was a good story.
Basketball.
Yeah. No, nothing but hockey.
Yep. All basketball.
Yeah.
That's what it was on Saturday. So I was mad when I saw that. And so that's why I was like, oh, this is a rant. This is rant worthy because it just got me going.
It does.
I was like, there's cool stuff in hockey. And
now you know how I feel when the MLS playoffs come around.
And then it's nothing.
Yeah.
0
And ESPN are like, it pains them to be like, oh, we should put the final on TV. Oh, it hurts. Oh, get over it.
But anyway. There was that one stat with from... Where did I hear that? That was like
I don't know.
The USA Mexico.
Yeah, 4 mil. Yeah, was it 4 mil?
Had more views than
Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, had a playoff
than
game.
The Blackhawks game.
Even though hockey games are to get televised, it's weird.
Somebody was reaching for that stat. I mean, come on. It's like saying like the USA Mexico game had more stats than the underwater basking weaving tournament on ESPN 12. More than likely it did. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Connor Christensen is in studio. We're going to play a little Start 'em, Sit 'em, Cut 'em, his health tip, and his fight corner. This is the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
All right, Grant, we've had a good show so far, chatting about the NBA playoffs and LeBron James and all that jazz. LeBron. And then the NHL playoffs and the St. Louis Blues and just how good they really are, or no, depending on how you look at it. I mean, they had a great year.
No, they are good. It's just they've had consistency issues. And
they have.
We talked about it. Go back and listen to it.
Exactly. But anyway, enough of all that. It is Monday, which means Connor Christensen is here with us. That always makes for a good time. It's been a while. We missed him. We didn't get him on Friday because he was off doing real things.
Skipping stuff. And
I wasn't skipping. I was thinking of you guys the whole time.
Oh, what a guy. Well, it's okay then. Everything's better now.
All right.
Well done.
That was close.
Well done. All right, Connor. Well, we've got all 3 segments that we usually have you on for today. The first one is Start 'em, Sit 'em, Cut 'em. We have 3 categories today for that. Before we get to your fight corner and health tip, The first lineup we have for you today are quarterbacks. You have Michael Vick, Colin Kaepernick, and Russell Wilson. Start 'em, sit 'em, cut 'em. Connor, you will get to start.
All right, I'm going to start Michael Vick at running back. I'm going to start Colin Kaepernick at fullback and Russell Wilson at quarterback.
Perfect. All right.
Nice.
Now for real.
Okay, for real. I'm going to cut Kaepernick. I'm going to sit Vick, and I'm going to start Wilson.
Interesting.
That was actually exactly what I was going to say. I'm cutting Colin Kaepernick. I am sitting Michael Vick and starting Russell Wilson.
The only way to do it.
No, that's true. That's very true. And I'm probably going to have to do the same. Yeah, we all three of us actually agree on something. It's a crazy day. All right, moving on to the next one. LaShawn McCoy, Darren Sproles, and DeMarco Murray.
Right now.
Right now, Grant, you get to start.
Oh, I don't know. It's really because, right now.
Right now.
At
this present moment, currently.
I will cut Sproles, sit McCoy, and start Murray.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm going to disagree completely.
I know. I was really debating. I didn't know.
I'm going to cut Murray. He's overrated.
Ooh. Okay.
Now
that's a little rude. That's going a little too far.
I'm going to sit Sproles because I can throw him in as a dual threat running back.
Yeah.
Throw him the ball. And I'm going to start McCoy.
Ooh. Okay.
LaShawn.
Okay.
What a guy.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to disagree with that.
I'm going to start Murray. I'm going to sit Sproles, and I'm going to cut McCoy. Because I think McCoy is a little overrated, personally.
I think you put McCoy with the offensive line that Murray had, McCoy would have blown out Murray's numbers.
All right. Well,
he's shady. You can't tackle him.
Shady. Except that,
Except for, when you can tackle him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't tackle me. I tackled you. Oh, well.
No, yeah, that's
what do we do now?
territory.
Exactly. All right, and then the last one, we go to the realm that I know best. The kickers! Woo! Mason Crosby, Steven Gostkowski, and Matt Prater.
Well, a kicker's a kicker, so I'm going to start whichever. I'm just kidding.
Stab and twist.
Going to go into
slit his throat.
Going to go into the whisper box and cry.
All right. I'm going to cut Prater.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to sit Gostkowski, and I'm going to start Crosby.
What?
I like Crosby.
Like right.
I'm going to start him right now.
If we need to go out to the field right now and kick a game-winning field goal, what's going on?
Like in today's condition or in their prime?
Oh my gosh! Right now.
Right now?
Literally
condition.
Right now.
Okay, then in
April
that case,
27th, 2015.
Okay, and then I would cut Prater and sit Gostkowski and start Crosby. In his day, though, I would take Gostkowski over Crosby.
That's fair.
Well, see, what I was going to do is I was going to cut Prater, sit Crosby, and start Gostkowski because Gostkowski is younger than Crosby. He's got a bigger leg, and yeah, he is.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, really. Really, Grant.
I'm really surprised by that.
Yes, I will look it up for you as we get Connor to roll. Anyway, so Connor, we'll have you go into your... Yeah, well, he's 31. Well, hang on. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Now we have to...
Now we gotta talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'll be stupid.
Hold on.
31 and...
Oh, 30. Dang it.
Yeah! Got it right. Woo!
Either way, I'd still take Gostkowski.
You suck.
I'd take Gostkowski over Crosby.
And he's supposed to be the kicker.
Baxter, you suck.
Sad.
Yeah.
Anyway. Wow. All right, Connor, UFC 186 is going to be just around the corner. What's going on?
Already happened.
Already happened. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read. Anyway, what happened, Connor? Tell us about it.
Yes, UFC 186 was their latest event. It happened 2 days ago on the 25th. Good try, though. I'm going to highlight just a couple fights.
English was never my strong point.
I'm going to highlight a couple fights. There's a championship fight for the flyweight title, which is 125 pounds, for those of you who don't know. That was between Demetrius Johnson and, I cannot pronounce that name. Help me out, guys. How do you Koji?
Was that K-O... No. Koli?
No, it's definitely a J.
K-Y-O-J-I? Koji. We'll call him Koji.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if he has a nickname.
Koji.
He doesn't have a nickname. All right. Yeah, Koji.
Koji!
Fights out of Japan.
Koji Horaguchi.
There you go. Well,
thank
good.
you. Thank you, Baxter.
My soccer knowledge. I can throw in like a goal at the end if you want. Yeah.
Horaguchi, go!
See, one thing I love about UFC.com is it takes a lot of their fight history and compiles what they're good at.
Ooh.
So you look at
infographics.
Demetrius Johnson, and you see that he's 33% of a striker, 56% takedowns, and 11% submissions.
Interesting.
And then you look over at Koji, and he is 64% striking, 36% takedowns. And to have a really big stand-up game is very important in the UFC. If you don't have a stand-up game, you're going to lose. However, you can't purely rely on your striking game.
Indeed.
And he being Demetrius Johnson, won via submission. So you could see where striking game is very important. You have to be able to stand toe-to-toe with your opponent. You have to. However, if you get in close, you get a clinch or something, and then you're able to throw it into a guillotine or an armbar or something, it's just... Give
him a chair.
And it's interesting if I'm reading this correctly. It was in round 5 and literally the last second, at 4 minutes and 59 seconds, he won via submission. He tapped out.
Nice.
With a second
away.
to spare.
Wonder how that guy felt.
Right? I don't know if he knew. Well,
Probably
they
couldn't feel.
They have clappers for the last 10 seconds. So
Yeah.
when there's 10 seconds left in a round, they use clappers to
Like the little light.
like the
Yeah.
They just kind of or it's just that.
What was
I don't
have a third hand.
Yes, it's something like that.
Okay.
And to signify that there's
You
10
knew what I
seconds
meant.
left. And then usually people are screaming at you like 10 seconds left, 10 seconds left. But he must have been in so much pain that he couldn't feel.
I could have taken it. Could have taken the extra second. Go 5 rounds.
Yeah, I know Demetrius is only 125 pounds.
He would crush you, Grant.
He would crush you.
I got him. I have weight on him. I can take him.
Yeah, but you have speed?
And
Yes.
He would use your weight against you.
He would.
Go for the knees. Anyway.
Rude.
And then the next...
Who would do that?
The next fight I want to
Demetrius.
talk about is the fight between Michael Bisping and CB Dalloway. Now, when I started watching...
Sound like old, jazz composers.
Mr. Jazz history.
Fairly true. But, however, when I started watching UFC fights, that would have been... Ooh, I'm old. 4 years ago.
You're old.
4 years ago? Get out of here.
4 or 5 years ago, Michael Bisping was actually a really big name in the middleweight division.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, that's because he's a really big name in the middleweight division. Right now, he's ranked 10th in the middleweight division, but he's
Not good enough.
He's 36.
Oldie. Get out.
No,
retire.
He is.
He's
He
washed
is an
up.
He is an oldie. He's not washed up because he won his fight. Thank you.
Irrelevant.
And against
lucky.
CB Dalloway, who was 31.
Oh.
5 years younger, and Michael Bisping was still able to come out and win via unanimous decision, which means they go the full rounds, and then they go to the judges' scorecards.
Ah, okay.
So they rank or they rate how they did. You get points for certain things.
He punched him in the face very well right here. What did you say, Reginald?
I'd give him a 10.
Oh, yes. 10.
Get out of here. Get out of here. No, they're rated on their striking, their takedowns. It's called octagon control, where if you see one dude in the center of the octagon pushing the other guy on the outside the entire fight, you know that he's going to get more points because he had more control over the fight.
Reggie, he's staying inside of the circle very well.
Grant, shut up. Moving on. The last fight that I want to talk about is the Rampage Jackson fight.
Ooh.
Now,
I know that name.
Most
I
people have
recognize
heard
him.
of Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Quentin.
What a
guy.
Just just like you, Baxter Quentin Colburn. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know,
I didn't know that.
More you
Really?
know, Grant.
I didn't know that.
You're
Because
welcome.
Baxter doesn't like me and doesn't tell me about his life and everything.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Not about
So
me, Grant. It's about Connor.
it is. It's about me right now. So stop it. It's about me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
So
I'm talking.
again,
I need a buzzer.
4 or 5 years ago when I was watching, he was a huge name. Just absolutely monstrous. Everybody knows Rampage Jackson just because he's one of the biggest names in UFC.
Yes, indeed.
And he actually was going through some legal stuff where he had a contract with a company called Bellator to fight for them. And then he was like, yeah, okay, screw you guys. I'm going to sign a contract with the UFC.
Oh.
And without, like, telling them.
Oh.
Yeah, so they...
We're all like, and there it is.
Yeah. So they actually... He was banned from the fight for a while. He wasn't going to fight at all because he was under contract and all of this stuff. But he did fight. I'm not entirely sure how all that legal process works. But Dana White, the president of the UFC, came out and said...
Who's a guy, by the way.
Vanna White.
Who's
not Vanna White.
Yeah.
Hey!
Every time somebody says... Every time somebody mentioned that name, that's what I pictured. And then I saw his picture. I was like, oh, it's a big bald guy.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
No, he's a guy, and he went on record saying that Rampage Jackson will definitely have some legal issues coming up here.
He could take him.
He could take him. However, that wouldn't solve any problems.
Huh.
And so Quentin Rampage Jackson came back after a couple of years off, 2 years off, I think, from fighting.
Okay.
And he won his match against Fabio Maldonado. I have trouble with names. I'm so bad with names.
Martin Maldonado.
And he won via unanimous decision.
It kind of sounded
as well.
like Sorry.
I'm Do you want
go.
me? I can leave.
No, you're fine.
No, I'll leave. I'll do it for you.
Grant
Okay,
should leave.
thank you.
Kick
All right.
Grant out.
So anyway, Bax.
Yes, Connor, thank you.
Rampage Jackson won via unanimous decision.
Okay.
And doing some research into the fight, apparently Rampage Jackson actually did not fight well.
Oh.
It was slow. They got boos from the crowd, all sorts of bad publicity type of thing, and they're starting to wonder, like, who is Rampage Jackson nowadays? Is he going to be able to come back and compete at this high of a level?
Yes.
So we'll see. I like Rampage. He's heavy-handed. He's super strong, and no one else slams people like Rampage Jackson does,
Except for Ronda. Because Ronda's bae.
Anyway, Ronda versus Rampage Jackson. I don't know. That's a decent fight.
That's a solid fight.
We'll have to see that one.
She'd
I'm not
probably
sure.
flip him.
Ronda versus the world.
Yeah. She'd probably win.
I would take her any day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight, which is coming up May 9th.
It's been hyped for the last 25 years.
Excuse me. May 2nd is when it will be shown, so it's coming right up. And looking at their records... Okay, all right. This is why we let boxers box. Anyway, so looking at their records, Floyd Mayweather is a astounding 46-0 with 26 KOs, and that means knockout.
Yes.
Okay.
Strikeout.
I'm better than him.
Now, Manny Pacquiao has a record of 57-5-2.
Ooh.
With 38 knockouts.
Those overtime losses will get you, Grant.
So I'm really curious about who's going to win this fight because Manny Pacquiao is a southpaw fighter, which means he's left-handed. Which means southpaw is when... Stop that. Southpaw fighting is when you have your left hand back because you're a left-handed fighter. So you bring your hands up, you tuck your chin, and you jab with your right, and then you kill shot with the left. Mayweather is an orthodox fighter, which means he's right-handed.
Roman or Greek?
Exactly what I was thinking.
Thanks, guys. So he has his right arm back. You guys are ridiculous, you know that?
This is why we can't have nice things.
No, you can't have nice things.
I don't think we're gonna get Connor back.
Let him finish.
Yeah, no, fight corner's done. They don't care. Anyway, moving on.
He's going to KO us both and just walk out.
Yeah. It's going to be the Connor show from now on. All right, moving on. So the orthodox has his right hand back, right? So he can jab with the left, kill shot with the right. So they're actually going to be facing each other, like front leg forward. They're going to be on the same side. So if you would look, they would form like a bow, as where most people are right-handed. So they would both be facing or doing the right-handed stance.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see how they match up with each other. Southpaw versus orthodox is always kind of an interesting type of fight. It's really hard to give the fight to Mayweather because Manny Pacquiao has so many KOs. 38 KOs is ridiculous.
It's hard to argue against something like that.
And Manny Pacquiao is 2 years younger than Mayweather, which at their age, Mayweather being 38 and Pacquiao being 36.
I don't think he was that old.
Yeah, I know, right? They've both been fighting for years. And so to say that Pacquiao has the advantage is true, in my opinion. However, Floyd Mayweather has 5 inches of reach on him. He's got 5-inch reach on him. And that... unless you have fought, you don't understand how important your reach is. Because unless you can get in there and take the reach advantage out of it, but that's really, really hard to do at their high level.
Yes.
So it'll be a really, really great fight. hopefully.
Hopefully.
These two, some of the best boxers ever.
First hit, boom, done. 14 seconds.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey's going to come in and take them both out.
Surprise!
I'd pay great money for that.
Oh, man.
I'd be like,
actually,
best fight ever.
I'm pretty sure Pacquiao or one of the two boxers talked about Rousey or something like that, and just like shot it down. Was like, you're nothing. Just get out.
Oh,
and and I can't remember which one it is now. Oh man, it's gonna bug me. Next fight corner.
Sounds good.
I'll look it up.
Okay. All right. Well, quickly with your health tip, Connor. Before we gotta let you go, we appreciate all your knowledge of the UFC world. We're very excited, and the boxing world too. We're really excited to see how that fight goes.
I'm excited for that too.
Are you gonna have a prime seat? You're gonna be like Buffalo Wild Wings or something with a beer
that
in
would
hand?
be wonderful. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
When is
I'm
it?
great.
Is it this weekend?
Yeah, it's
probably on like HBO or
Saturday.
some random channel you have to pay $1,000 for. Anyway, your health tip, Connor, for us before we send you on your merry way today is what?
My health tip. Wait, what is my? No, I'm just kidding. I know what my health tip is. It is how to make yourself less sore after a workout. So
I need to take notes.
yes, you do. See, Grant, I'm sorry because this is never big on my list. I am always like, working out, boom. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're done. Let's leave. In reality, I should be making you stretch.
Stretch. That'll get you every time.
Such a very overlooked aspect of things sometimes. Yes, stretch. It's with an E, not an A. Come
2
on.
T's.
It's an E.
I'm messing with
the
you.
Q is silent.
The Batman symbol is not in that word. Okay, moving on. Stretch. Drink plenty of water. Mm-hmm. When you work out, you are literally tearing your muscles.
Oh, that's painful.
At a microscopic level, that's what's happening.
Why do people work out again?
That sounds horrible.
To make yourself bigger, faster, stronger. Be more healthy. Because if you do nothing, you're at higher risk for basically death. If you live sedentary lifestyle, if you're not exercising, you are at a high risk of obesity. Obesity is the second highest killer in the United States, behind heart disease. I believe heart disease is still number one, and then obesity is right after that, and all the complications from obesity. But that's not what my health tip is about. It is about if you want to not be a sore after a workout, stretch afterwards, drink plenty of water, get a good night's rest, and you will feel a whole lot better the next day.
All right.
So,
what did you learn, Grant?
I have stretch, water, more healthier, hard stuff, and sleep.
I'm so proud of you.
This is why I do really well in school, guys.
Well done. Well done, Grant. All right, thank you so much, Connor, for coming by. It was a little bit longer segment, but you had a lot to share with us, so we're very much appreciative of that, and we can't wait to get your opinions on that Mayweather-Pacquiao fight.
By the way, I like all flavors of Mountain Dew. Just going to throw that out there.
There's two kinds of people.
A debate for another time. All right, thank you so much, Connor. You can find Connor on Twitter at ConnorDC126. Thank you so much. You've got your Bax Grant Sports Show official shirt now. Check him out. You can see him on the cube. If not, maybe Connor will tweet a picture of himself once he makes it a cutoff like he does with every other shirt he owns.
Not every shirt.
Most.
Every shirt.
He's even got the whole dress shirt cut on. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right, we're going to go to a quick break.
Just a bow tie.
Yeah, that's hot. And when we come back, we're going to play a little Fact or Fiction with Grant, and then we'll be on our merry way. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show. Sorry. How you doing, Grant?
I'm doing great.
God.
Jeez.
See, this is the problem when Connor Christensen comes in the studio. We lose all sense of life and just don't know how to act as human beings. That's kind of
You never know. You honestly never.
Hey. Anyway, Grant, it's time for a little fact or fiction. The first fact or fiction question for you, sir, is fact or fiction that the St. Louis Blues will make it out of the playoffs next year? They will make it in terms of to the second round or farther.
Well, I mean, yeah, in their terms, that is making it out of the playoffs because
they will. They will make it out of the first round next year in the NHL playoffs.
I mean, you always think that they are. You always think they're going to do really well. You always think they're going to go really deep, and then they don't. So it's really it's way too early since their season just ended. The current one isn't even over yet. We still have the draft. We have a lot of things to go. It's really hard to tell, but I'm going to say fact just because of the team that they are. They should be making it further than they have been.
Dang, you got fiery real quick. Anyway, all right. Fact or fiction, Grant, that now that Adam Wainwright is done for the season with an Achilles injury, the St. Louis Cardinals will miss the playoffs.
Yeah, the stinking Brewers, man. The stinking Brewers.
You're welcome.
He's Achilles injury, done for the season. But I will say fiction, the Cardinals have enough pitching in their lineup, even though their pitching was not good yesterday. They still have enough depth at pitcher. They need to get their bats going a little bit more. Then I'll be happy, even though the bats have been a lot better than they were last year. So I'm happy about that. But fiction, I still think they will make the playoffs.
All right. Well, this has been another edition of the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Grant, where can the good people find us on social media?
They can find us on Facebook at the Bax Grant Sports Show. You can head on over to Twitter and tweet us at BG Sports Show. You can email us on Gmail at bgsportshow@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram by using the hashtag the Bax Grant Sports Show. And you can also find us on the Cube by searching the Bax Grant Sports Show number 57.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for listening and watching today. We look forward to chatting with you all again on Wednesday, which will be intern Laura and just about anything else we decided to talk about. Always a good time on the Bax Grant Sports Show. Special thanks to Connor Christensen for stopping by. And for Grant Coppersmith, I'm Baxter Colburn. Any final thoughts, sir?
Also want to shout out iTunes.
Yes.
You can go back and download our show. Also, just throwing it out there, new platform, iHeartRadio.
Yes, indeed.
That is connected to Spreaker. And then Sports Radio America, per usual. You can always find us on there. And then Live 365 and TuneIn.
Yes, indeed. All kinds of places to listen to us and watch us and interact with us. We appreciate everything you do for us. If you want to get a new shirt from us, let us know. We're very appreciative of John Lewinsky for designing the logo for us, and then for a pack of liquidators as well for designing them and making them for us as well. So, he's Grant Coppersmith. That was Connor Christensen. I am Baxter Colburn. For all of us here at the Bax Grant Sports Show, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, be good, be safe, and we will see you again on Wednesday for
Hump Day!
Woo!